Welcome back to week 6 of the NFL season. This is our NFL bet show. We go through, give you our 3 favorite picks each, including our lock of the week. Coming off of an average week, we're going to try to be more consistent with our scheduling. We had some weddings, honeymoons. So we're going to be on track for the rest of the season now
A
here.
lot of
We got some
weddings and honeymoons.
hurricanes too.
Hurricanes, there you go. Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Hurricanes as well. That's why Corey can't be here. So all right, who wants to start us off
On the
with
show.
their
He's here.
He's still with us, but
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
just not on the
oh
show.
That sounds
You
so
got to make that clear.
ominous.
Yeah, yeah.
well, yeah, you know what I mean. He's out there Lieutenant Danning it, so
Oh no.
we'll
With
see.
the
We'll
boat
see.
next to him. Yep.
All right, who wants to go first?
I'll kick us off. I think I got an absolute wagon here with the Texans -7. Obviously, a slow start to the year. Losing Nico Collins is huge, but um, I think they've really struggled with injuries all season with running backs going down and all that too. But I just think they're in a good spot where they need to win, and I just think it's about the fight of the dog sometimes. So they're in a spot I think they could just pull off a blowout win, and I'm taking a -7.
I am on the other side as well as Corey. Grabbing Patriots as a home dog of a full touchdown here. Um, I think the Nico injury is ginormous for Stroud and that offense. I think that's he's a top three receiver, arguably the best receiver in the league currently. That doesn't just get filled in. I know they don't have just scrubs behind him, but I think that's going to be a big loss, and Stroud's numbers take a big hit when Nico's not on the field. You're also getting fresh look Drake May on the New England side. So going to be, baptized in the fire going against this Texans defense. But I think he gives New England that a different look and the scramble and rushing upside that they need behind their terrible O line. So Brissett is an absolute statue back there and has been getting just mollywopped left and right. But Drake May's got rushing upside and is going to be able to extend plays and kind of make up for some of that lack of offensive line there. On top of that, the Texans haven't won a game by more than 6 points all year. Stroud is 2-7 against the spread as a favorite of 3 or more, and NFL dogs of 6+ this year are 11-8 straight up, 16-2-1 against the spread. And for reference, last year at this point in time, they were 4-16 straight up. So haven't had a ton of those double digit spreads. There's been a lot more kind of middle of the road teams, close matchups, and I think we get another one here. I don't think the Patriots win, but I think they can cover a touchdown.
I mean, I kind of wanted to hear what you had to say on this, and I love the 16-2 stat you threw out there against the spread. We're going to see a little regression to the mean. In what world is Drake May escaping Daniel Hunter and Will Anderson? Those are like speed rush guys that aren't going to allow some quarterback to like scramble all over them.
I mean,
I
I
mean,
just I just think he provides a different look than what this
Different
Patriots
than
offense has
Brissett
had.
for sure, but
Yeah.
their O line's not getting any. They're not changing that, so they're still going to have a lot of issues, I think. And there's no one for Drake May to throw the ball to at this point. Like none of these young receivers have really stepped up to fill the void of wide receiver 1 through 3 in any sort of consistent manner. And Ramondre's had the fumbles all year. They're talking about starting Tony Gibson last year. I just don't think the
last
locker room
week.
is in great shape right now to just like hold on against a juggernaut team.
That's
I, I
fair.
will.
That's
I'll
fair.
say. I'll say this about Drake May. Josh Allen just ran for like 60 yards on like 4 attempts last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not Josh Allen.
He's
Like,
faster than Josh Allen.
he might be faster, but
I'm just saying. You were talking
I
about
guess
couldn't
we'll
get
see.
away
We
from
haven't
him.
seen him yet, so I'll
Yeah.
hold my opinion on that, I guess.
Yeah, I also think you gotta. I'm gonna be interested to see what these receivers can do with him as opposed to Brissett. I mean, the offense is going to change significantly. The playing calling is going to change to fit, you would think, to fit Drake May. Um, and so I just think guys like Polk will step up. Kendrick Bourne's coming back. He played his most snaps all year last week. Demario Douglas isn't anything amazing, but he's nice out of the slot. I mean, they don't have absolute duds left and right. They haven't obviously performed great right now, but I just think it's too many points. I think the Texans kind of play sloppy games. They haven't really had that statement win yet, and I think they're kind of pulling, Chiefs types of wins where they're clearly a top team in the league. Where you want to put them is up to your own opinion, but they find ways to win, but they're not blowing teams out left and right. Their defense and ball possession is winning them these games, and Stroud not turning the ball over, but it's not like a 30-10 victory over even a team like the Bears in week 2 who did not look good, or the Colts who have not put together a great game. Like,
Yeah. This feels like one of those games that they just go and blow out their opponent to start building that momentum, though. And I think the rookie QBs, like even Caleb, like started so slow. I think I'm excited for Drake May long term. I think this was the best move for their franchise. So like just throw him in there and let's see what he's got. But game 1, tough spot.
fair enough.
All
We
right.
shall see.
My first pick is Seattle plus 3.5. Short week. San Fran is coming to Seattle. San Francisco's 2-3. Seattle's 3-2. You have a Seattle offense that is a great matchup, I think, against this 49ers defense, which is a pass funnel, which is exactly what the Seahawks like to do. And then you have Hufanga, who just went on IR. You got Charvarius Ward banged up, questionable to play. Jake Moody, he's a kicker, whatever, but he's
Could
that could
matter.
that
Could
could that
matter.
hey, listen, that could
So,
impact a field goal
yeah,
in the
you've got the
game.
hook.
And you got the hook, exactly. And then
Yeah.
you got Jordan Elliott on their D line was ruled out. So you got, these injuries on the 49ers front that, again, it's a short week. You get 3.5, and then I think that hook is huge here. I wouldn't be surprised if Seattle just outright won here. I like what they're doing with their new offensive coordinator. So
Mike McDonald, right?
yes.
He's awesome.
So I just like kind of how the Seahawks are operating this year. And, I think this line could have been a little shorter if they didn't just obviously lose. Um, so I don't know. I really like the Seahawks in this spot, especially on a short week.
All
All right,
right.
who wants to go next?
For my next pick, we are going to London. Bears minus 1.5, taking on the what seems like the London Jaguars at this point. They're just there every single year. But the Bears offense, granted they were playing the Panthers, but they got going last week, and you can tell they started to work some things out. And one thing that's really good for the mental is a blowout. I don't care who you're playing. And the next best thing after getting kind of that swagger back is facing a defense like the Jaguars. Jaguars have let up the 30th most points in the league. They're averaging letting up 28.6 points per game. They're 31st in yards allowed per game, 32nd in passing yards allowed per game. And I think that the Bears defense is going to muck it up and cause issues for T-Law. I mean, he had a great week last week, no doubt about it, but he always tears up Gus Bradley. I mean, if you look at his stats against Gus Bradley teams, it is outstanding. It's crazy what he does to those defenses. So, but I'm banking on Water finding its level, and that meaning T-Law going back to his Danny Dimes, Gardner Minshew level here over in London, overseas, and Bears are getting out with a win. And yeah, Bears minus 1.5.
I like it. All right, my second pick here is Broncos plus 3.5. They're playing the Chargers. Herbert's still in an ankle brace. although they had the bye last week, a lot of their injured guys couldn't seem to really get healthy in a significant way. So Herbert said today his ankle's feeling better, but not sure how much better. So it sounds to me like it's still bothering him. He's still going to be wearing the brace. I think that limits him. We have some game film now on the schemes that Harbaugh's rolling out. Very run heavy. We saw J.K. Dobbins have a great first couple weeks. He's slowed down since. And this Charger team has some not tier one wins, with the Panthers and I don't know. I'm just not a huge believer in them right now. Bosa's still not practicing. They're beat up. And then, on the Broncos side, they had a 40-point game last week. So I think they're starting to find their groove a little bit. And, Bo Nix looks like he's starting to find his feet underneath him. And I love that defense too. They're a lot better than everyone gives them credit for. So I think they're going to be able to limit the Chargers in a significant way and pull out a +3.5, probably even get the win, in my opinion. So sprinkle a little money line.
Yeah, it's going to be a low scoring one. Always like taking the points, especially over a field goal when you know it's going to be a defensive battle.
Mm-hmm.
All right. My next pick is going to be the Ravens Commanders under 51.5. Believe it's the highest total on the board. And maybe actually the Cowboys Lions might just be right
Right
tied
around
with
there.
them.
Yeah.
But there's obviously paths to where this could turn into a shootout, but I think that both offenses love to run the ball when they can. You have two very mobile quarterbacks that, when they're running the ball and you're keeping that clock running, you could have some of these like long drives where you see Derrick Henry just like 8-yard run, 7-yard run. Like I don't see, I mean, talk about a Derrick Henry, he did well. I mean, he's had a great year so far, and then he was starting off a little sluggish last week and then had that big run at the end that was huge. But if you talk about like a big Derrick Henry spot, this could be it against the Commanders defense here. But you could just see, yeah, 6-yard run, 8-yard run, Lamar, and the clock is just ticking and ticking and ticking. And if you get one of those like really long drives and then it just ends with just a field goal or something like that, is really gonna hurt the chances of this game going over. So I definitely can see, maybe some drives like that happening. And, this game could still be fairly high scoring. You could have a 27-24 game and still be like, it seems like it's back and forth and still go under. So I really like the under in this spot. You've had these two quarterbacks that everyone associates with doing incredible this year. And I think that's why this line is just set a little bit too high. And people are probably still trying to like bet the over even in this spot. I just think the under is the sharp side.
I like that. All right. My lock of the week here is going to be Bengals -3.5. Obviously, coming off of a tough loss to that Ravens team that PB was just mentioning, but the offense clearly started clicking again. Burrow and these guys, they're always slow starters, and then come week 3, week 4, they really start to turn it on. They put up 38 on a very solid Ravens defense. And all four of their
By
losses.
solid, what do you mean? Because I don't know if they're solid.
You don't think so?
The Ravens defense?
Yeah. I don't think they're like as elite
They're
as
not what they have been.
Okay, I'll say this. I think their run defense is solid. I think their pass defense is not good.
fair enough.
That's what I'll say.
Fair enough. But yeah, so Bengals 1-4. All four losses have been one score games, and all four have totaled only 15 points differential. So they're in these close spots. They're just not the ball's not going their way at the end. And the Giants have one of the worst secondaries in the league. You've got Thibodeau, who just had surgery, so their pass rush isn't going to be as effective getting to Joe Burrow, and Joe Burrow with time is elite. And with the Bengals sitting at 1-4, they're basically playing a playoff game every single week from here on out. We saw it similar with the Bills last year, where they just I think they started, it was like 2-4, 2-5, something like that, and
Yeah.
they rattled off like 8 straight wins. I think you could very easily see the Bengals doing the same type of thing. On top of that, Neighbors is still in concussion protocol. Obviously, have some days to, you know, get him back active, but there's a chance he doesn't play. And I don't. Darius Slayton does not scare me. I know the Bengals defense has been atrocious, but I just think in this spot here, knowing that their backs are against the wall, knowing they basically have to win out to make the playoffs and have a chance. I think they go in and they get a statement victory and cover this 3.5.
Yeah, totally agree. I'm riding this with you. There's nothing on the Giants side that makes me think they're going to be able to keep up with a 1-4 Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase connection. I think last week we saw, really the last 2 weeks, we saw why people argue that Jamar Chase is the best wide receiver in the league. He's going to continue that. Him and T are an amazing duo out there. There's nobody even close on the Giants side. They won last week, which is why I think this line's a lot closer than it is. But like, you're not going to get 130 yards out of Tyrone Tracy on back-to-back weeks to like bolster that offensive production. Slayton had a breakout game too, but like, I don't know. I just don't see it. Um, I think this is going to be a blowout. So
Give some credit to Danny Dimes there.
he's doing fine with what he has. I don't think he has a lot of talent around him. I think he's, you know,
I'm just saying Neighbors will be back here too. I don't know who on the Bengals is going to stop him.
I don't think he's going to play.
Oh, you think he'll that's a bad concussion then?
Yeah, at least that's what I was. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
it seems weird that he's still in the protocol on Wednesday here,
That is, I'll agree. That is odd.
right? That seems kind of long.
Yeah, 100%. It's usually Monday, Tuesday, a couple days.
All right, PB, round us out here.
All right, my lock is the Titans minus 2.5. Ugly team choice here, but they're going up against the Colts. This was actually at Titans +1 not too long ago. It was kind of shortly before the, Pittman possibly to IR, and the Downs is banged up as well.
Well, and
Taylor,
Sharps hammered the Titans.
yeah, Taylor, we'll see if he even plays. Like, it's just like you're gonna have an offense of Anthony Richardson, Trey Sermon,
Is
Alec
Richardson going to be
Pierce.
back?
What?
Is Richardson going
Yeah,
to be back?
Richardson, I think will be back. So, but it's just like this offense. I mean, Anthony Richardson, Trey Sermon, Alec Pierce. I mean, that as like your number one, and then like AD Mitchell mixed. It just seems like a terrible, terrible matchup against this very solid Titans defense. And the Titans, on the other hand, Levis is coming off kind of a banged up, and obviously left that game. I think he's going to get the start here over Rudolph. But I mean, what they want to do, which is, I mean, yeah, Pollard could definitely run on the Colts, but their team identity is more like throwing the ball with Levis. And that is a perfect matchup for the Titans to do this on the Colts. I mean, the Colts have been just getting shred all year long by, quarterbacks. I mean, their defense is terrible. And you got Calvin Ridley, DeAndre Hopkins getting ramped up again. I just think it's a great matchup for them, and getting this under a field goal is very, very solid in my opinion. I just don't see it'll take one of those magical, magical Anthony Richardson games coming off of this injury. Just don't see it in the spot. So I'm taking the Titans -2.5 as my lock. And do we say Corey's lock before we sign off here?
Yeah, Corey's on Bucks -3.5, Patriots +7, and then locking the Jets +2.5. The Bob Salalis Jets at
He's
+2.5.
betting on that rally or something. I don't know.
Yeah, probably
Yeah.
the coach firing stats would have, I'm sure, come out um, from his side.
I bet they're pretty good, honestly.
They are.
All right, that'll do it for our week 6 betting show. We will be back next week. Please leave a like, subscribe, comment your favorite pick of the week, and we'll see you next time.